Welcome back everyone, this is Misto with another Stranding video, and today's guide will be about how to farm cryo crystals from BTs and where to farm them at. Before we get started though, I have something I'd like to say to Diego Olacia 15. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that, but I was using your bike all this time, your trike, and I was enjoying it, I was having fun, and all of a sudden it's just gone, poof. Someone took it or either you took it. That's the wonders of Death Stranding though, right? Anyway guys, let's go ahead and move forward and continue on with this. And oh, I did find someone else's trike to use. Manny V7. So Manny, if you're watching, thanks for allowing me to use your trike. And alright, let's continue on with this. First, let's take a look at our equipment. I personally went with two non-lethal assault rifles level 3. You only actually need one, but I went with the second one for backup. I also have 4 armor plate level 4s on, which honestly you do not need those, but at the time of recording that's what I had on, but you notice later on in the video that I removed them. I also have on Chiral boots, hermetic grenades. I had 5 of those, which is what I recommend, bare minimum to get through it for safety measure. Blood bags, bare minimum of 6, also for safety measure. All-terrain skeleton level 2 is what I use to make climbing a little bit easier in this video, but not required. Power gloves as well, and that's about it as far as equipment goes. Next we're going to talk location as to where to farm. In my opinion, it's probably one of the easiest spots to farm in the whole entire game, which is going to be in the Mountain Knot region, right between the distribution center and Mountain Knot City itself. One of the main reasons why I recommend this area to farm is because it is highly trafficked by other players. You have personal shelters, time shelters, bridges, everything to make the access to the BT farm area a lot easier. As you notice, I already have a path laid out to go to it directly. I've been going in there, farming it, going back to the shelter, patching up my gear, rearming, and then wash, rinse, and repeat, and going back out and doing the same thing all over again. Now before we get started, I'm just going to give Manny V7 here a whole lot of likes for having this trike on hand, because man, that just totally messed up my whole theme. I was going along, I was having a good time, and then poof, the trike I was using, it's gone. But as I said, that's part of what I like about this game, about Death Stranding, is one moment something you're using is there, the next it's gone, something new's there, and then there you go, you're just moving along trying to find the next thing to see if you can make your life a little easier in this game, or if it's just going to get more complicated. And it's wonderful, it's funny, it's frustrating, and to be honest, it's one of the things I love about this game. Now, it'd be nice to Manny V7 and preserve their trike. I'm going to put it underneath this timefall shelter and head out to find my BTs so that way they can capture me. So there's something I would like to point out about this method that I'm using. It is currently being used on hard mode, the toughest setting that you can do in the game. And by following this method, it makes it very simple and very easy to use. So that's why very little gear is actually required to do this, and it can be used on any of the difficulties. Okay, here we go. I am being captured by the BTs right now. They're going to pull me over to the boss. Upon reaching the boss, the first thing we want to do is pull out one of our hermetic grenades. Aim at it, hold down R2 until we see the rectangular light up blue, and then toss it. What this is going to allow to do is, when you aim and you hold down R2, R2 will lock onto the boss, and as long as you see that rectangular light up blue, you're going to hit the boss every single time. Now, as we climb up the mountainside, we're going to continue to do this. Hold down the R2, bam, hit the boss. We're going to continue to climb up, grab anything we see along the way that might help us out. Once again, turn around, lock on, hit the boss, continue our climb upwards. When we reach the top of the mountain, a couple of things this is going to do for us. It's going to give us a solid foothold that will not disappear. It also probably means that most likely that we will not get assistance from other players, but that's okay. As long as you have bare minimum 5 hermetic grenades, this method will work. And if nothing else, you also have a weapon as a backup to where you can finish off the boss. Now that we've reached the safety, the hilltop, our solid ground, where we're not going to lose our footing, our base is not going to disappear, we can concentrate fully on the boss. An additional advantage is the visual and auditory cues the boss will give when it comes up out of the ground. You'll be able to see when it's going to dive into the ground after you hit it with a grenade. You'll also be able to hear it when it pops back up out of the ground where it's going to come from. So I listen for my auditory cue, and there it is right behind me. Walk on with R2, rectangular shows up, blue, it's locked on. Now the boss is diving underneath the ground. I'm going to listen once more for it. There it is right behind me. I'm going to repeat, walk on, hit it. The boss is going to get ready to dive once more into the ground. And this process is just going to repeat itself. And a key thing to remember is after every time you hit it with a grenade, it's going to pop back up somewhere else. Now, occasionally it will do that. Just hold down R2, don't release it until it pops up again. You can re-lock onto it. Bam. Here we go. Hit it once more with the grenade. At this point, I got it down to about half its life. Now, this method on hard difficulty takes roughly just a little over 6 minutes per run to do. And of course, on the lower settings, it's going to take less time. While I was doing this, I went ahead and ran it 9 different times to find out the amount of crystals that you will gather from it. At the lowest, I personally got 781. At the max, it looks like I got 845 crystals for a grand total of 7,282 crystals. Now, of course, I've had roughly about 445 to maybe 475 before I started this run. So, you know, there's going to be roughly about 475 that you can take away from that to determine the exact amount that you'll get. Which within about an hour's time, you know, 7,282 crystals is not bad for a farming method. Now, in order to maintain my gear, what I did before I started this, I hit up a mule farm, gathered some resources from there, as well as resources off the ground that I could find. And then when I went to the private house across the river, I also went inside, used the shower plus the toilet, took those resources, and I recycled those. On top of that, I even went into the shared locker, gathered weapons, ladders, etc. And I recycled all of that so that way I could have the resources I need to make hermetic grenades and also replace weapons as I needed to, which in the end made it so much easier than to have to go out and farm for everything. Now at this point, the boss has about 1/8 of his health left. I'm going to pull out one more grenade, throw it at it, and then after that, I take out my gun to finish it off. Why? Because I have it, and it's just fun to shoot the boss in the face. Is it really necessary to have the gun? No, it's not. But it's also nice to have it on hand, just in case you mess up with your grenades. And, you know, who doesn't like shooting the boss in the face? And there you have it. Farming for crystals on hard mode and make it easy. In addition to this, for each run, you have a chance to get anywhere from 7 likes to 100 likes, which will help with the bonding process with BB. And with that, if you enjoyed this video, found it to be helpful, do me a favor, hit that like button, as well as drop a comment on anything I may have left out, or just simply to say hi. I would also like to add that I do other RPG related video games on here as well. And with all of that, my friends, game on.